History honors emperors. But empires survive because of men history quietly forgets. Rome had fallen in the West, and the world it built was tearing itself apart. From every border, enemies advanced, sensing weakness in what remained of Rome. Only Constantinople stood firm, the final heartbeat of the Roman Empire. If the city fell, Rome would vanish forever, erased from history. The empire didn't need more soldiers. It needed a mind capable of survival. Quietly, one name began to circulate through the ranks of the army. Belisarius was no prince, no noble, just a disciplined soldier. His strength was forged by hardship, not privilege. Men followed him instinctively, trusting his calm under pressure. He sought no crown, Tadaig, only loyalty to Rome and obedience to his emperor. Emperor Justinian noticed him Plaven and began to watch closely. His first major command came with impossible odds. His army was smaller, weaker, and completely surrounded. While others panicked, Belisarius remained calm. He trusted terrain, timing, and discipline. Heed, not numbers. When battle began, the impossible started to unfold. Against all expectations, the enemy lines began to break. Belisarius had won, and the empire breathed again. In that moment, a legend was born, one that would soon frighten emperors. Emperor Justinian dreamed of restoring Rome's lost glory, whatever the cost.
Belisarius became the instrument of that ambition. Powerful, precise, and dangerous.
The first target lay across the sea, a crater, North Africa, ruled by the Vandals. Once again, Belisarius was given too few men and impossible expectations.
Against uncertainty and fear, the fleet sailed west into danger.
Every man aboard understood the risk too. Defeat meant total annihilation. They landed on hostile shores, far from reinforcement or mercy. Belisarius enforced strict discipline. No looting, no cruelty. By protecting civilians, he turned fear into cooperation. The Vandal army moved to crush the invasion before it could grow.
Once more, Belisarius faced a larger, confident enemy force.
He waited, measured, and chose the moment carefully. When he struck, the battlefield changed instantly. The Vandal army shattered faster than anyone predicted. With the enemy broken, the road to Carthage lay open. Carthage fell without destruction for Sorn, a rare victory without ruin. Belisarius ruled through restraint, not terror.
In months, An entire kingdom was reclaimed for the empire.
Belisarius returned to Constantinople as a conquering hero.
But behind the applause, fear quietly began to grow. Italy was next, a land of ruins, divided loyalties, and endless danger. Once more, he sailed west with limited forces and overwhelming expectations. Italy was no prize of honor. It was exhausted, scarred, and bitterly divided.
The Ostrogoths ruled with strength, Nafeng, and would not surrender easily.
Belisarius advanced carefully, choosing speed and precision over brute force.
Against expectation, the gates of Rome opened without resistance. Rome was still magnificent, but hollow, fragile, and nearly empty. The Goths would not abandon Rome. The siege was inevitable. Supplies were cut. Reinforcements vanished. Rome stood isolated. Belisarius prepared for a defense few believed possible.
Day after day, the attacks never stopped.
Hunger spread faster than fear. Disease followed close behind.
Morale collapsed, Atif, yet Belisarius refused surrender. The Goths had numbers. Belisarius had control. Against all odds, Rome did not fall.
Across the empire, Belisarius became a living legend. But legends make emperors nervous.
Belisarius had won too much, too often.
From that moment, Belisarius' greatest battles would no longer be fought with swords. Victories echoed across the empire, but whispers moved faster than truth.
Belisarius was loved by soldiers, and that frightened the throne.
Loyalty was questioned, not with evidence, but with suspicion.
Commands began arriving that limited his freedom to act.
Supplies were delayed. Reinforcements never arrived. Even restrained, Belisarius continued to win. He never reached for power, never challenged the throne.
Silence became his answer to every accusation. Distance from court became distance from influence. Eventually, the order came. Belisarius was recalled. Constantinople welcomed him without celebration. Every step he took was now observed.
Accusations emerged at hand. Vague, convenient, impossible to disprove.
Command was removed quietly, without explanation.
The empire he saved no longer needed him. He offered no defense, no protest. Even then, his loyalty never wavered. There was no execution, no rebellion, only disappearance. The greatest general of his age faded into silence.
This was the cost of loyalty in an empire built on fear.
Years passed in silence, far from battlefields, far from applause.
The empire continued forward, pretending it no longer needed him.
Cake to swing, Lieutenant.
New generals rose, but victories came slower, at greater cost. There was no one who matched Belisarius's restraint or precision. Then, a darker story began to circulate among the people. They claimed Belisarius was blinded and left to beg. But history offers no proof. The Kerga, only rumor shaped by fear. The myth served power better than the truth ever could. In reality, Belisarius lived quietly, stripped of glory, not dignity. He never rebelled, never cursed the empire he saved.
And his life became a lesson no ruler wanted remembered.
When Belisarius died, there was no triumph, no public mourning. The empire chose forgetfulness over gratitude. Years turned into centuries. Memory faded. Only much later did historians begin asking uncomfortable questions. They rediscovered victories once attributed to others. A pattern appeared. Loyalty punished, competence feared. Belisarius stood apart, even among Histriel's greatest generals. He won wars without ever betraying his emperor.
And yet, loyalty became the very reason he was erased.
Belisarius was not great because he ruled, but because he never tried to. He proved that loyalty can outlast ambition, but not politics. Empires do not fall from enemies alone, but from fear within.
By silencing Belisarius, the empire silenced its own safeguard.